Good evening, everyone. I am Deborah Smith.
And I am Dan Smith.
And we are here as hosts tonight on Unique Couples. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. You are in the right place, Unique Couples with Vito and Linda Patrick. But we are guest hosting tonight, and we are super excited to be here. We're from Jacksonville, Florida, so we are just glad to be able to share with you wherever you are all over the world. And we are super excited to have our guest here tonight, Dr. Latazia Stuart. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And you can just call me Dr. Tazz. That's easier, I think, for most folks that are listening.
All right, Dr. Tazz, I got it. Awesome stuff. So please come in, make sure that you have subscribed to this page. Please follow Unique Couples on all forms of social media. Get your notepads ready and your pens. Get ready for an insightful evening with us as we talk with Dr. Tazz. So, Dr. Tazz, before we get started, can you let everyone know a little bit about yourself?
Thank you. Yeah, so my name is Dr. Tazz. Most folks call me Tazz, but my full name is Latazia Stuart. I actually originally from the Bahamas. So for all my friends and family that are listening from the Bahamas, I bring you greetings. I reside in Central Florida, and I am here with my husband and kids. In my day-to-day, I serve as a university dean of online academics. So I work in higher education, and in my church ministry, I serve as a children's ministries director. So those are some of the things I wear, but as a hat, you may say. But despite wearing many different hats, I have a passion to really just, serve God with all my heart in everything that I'm doing.
Wow, that's awesome. That's so awesome. So, as you know, everyone, we know and we meet different people each and every day. So we meet people as we network, as we go out to different programs, dinners, and different things. I'm sure Dr. Tazz meets people as they come in as different professors, the students. So we meet people in every walk of life on a routine basis. And we, sometimes we don't get to know these people intimately. It's just that we meet them in passing or whatever. So we never really know a person's story unless we get really close to them and know what's really going on with them. So Dr. Tazz has something that she wants to share with us today, and it is her story of faith and infertility.
Yeah, so I very appreciate Linda and Vito inviting me to this platform to share with everyone this afternoon. Most folks who may not be familiar with my story, I actually just finished writing a book, a book that I say I never ever planned to write, because it's about something that's so personal and so intimate. It's something that I never, ever envisioned, sharing with anybody, much less, like I said, writing a book about it. However, God kept tugging on my heart because he let me know that there are other individuals like myself who are suffering in silence with a similar issue. And that particular issue is infertility. Many people find it hard to believe, especially those who now see my book in different places and have heard me speak on several different interviews in the past week. But infertility was a word that I could not even speak. It was one that I could not mouth from my lips. And despite writing a whole book about it and my story, I was not even able to say the word until this year, a few months before I published my book. So a lot of people go like, what? Like, how is that even possible? And, as I go deeper into my why I probably was like that, it stems a bit from embarrassment and, the shame that I felt around the fact that I was having challenges conceiving a child. As a person of faith, I just believe that, you do the right things. You go to church, you live a good life as much as possible. And, when you get married, eventually after time, you make the decision to grow your family, and it happens, right?
Right.
But it did not happen the way I thought it would. My husband and I, we tried for years. And it was very disheartening and discouraging, because I was at a point in my life where I felt almost like I was forgotten by God. Like, hey, Lord, like, I'm supposed to be a girl. I grew up in a church. I went to school. I tried to do things the right way. And here it is, the one thing that a woman, I felt, should be able to do, I couldn't. And so for me, it was very discouraging. It was very disheartening, and my faith was tested in so many ways. Eventually, I did come to the point where my husband and I, through the assistance of fertility treatment, was able to conceive. And even though we were able to conceive, that pregnancy was not successful. So it was like, Lord, we get to the point where you allow us to have a kid, and then you take this away from us. There was a degree of our faith that was just being tried in ways that we just could not understand. And over time, I've come to realize that there are some things in life that we are going to experience that we will never truly ever get the answer to. But we have to trust in the process, that God doesn't make any mistakes, and that he has a purpose for all that we are experiencing.
Right.
I can share with you now that, having gone through the journey that I went through, and now in this season of life that I'm in, where I'm now sharing my story, I am seeing his purpose fulfilled in my life on something, again, that I never ever envisioned that I would share with anyone. For some of your listeners, I actually just completed a book tour in Nassau, Bahamas, this past few weeks, past few days. I returned to the U.S. on Wednesday, and while there, it was interesting to see how there were so many other women who were experiencing a similar struggle. I never imagined that, and in fact, last Sunday, this time, I was at the Miles C. Monroe Diplomat Center, where I had one of my book signings at the Oasis bookstore. And there were individuals who took my hand to pray with them for this particular struggle that they are experiencing.
Wow.
It was in those moments where God kept speaking in my ear, there was and there still is purpose behind the pain that you endured through infertility and miscarriages. And again, for something that I was shameful about, something I was unnecessarily shameful about. Because one of the things I've learned along this way, as I continued on this journey, is that infertility is just another medical diagnosis. Just like there are medical diagnoses for so many other health issues that exist, this is just another one. And it's one that women and couples should not be ashamed of or embarrassed by, because it's not something that they can necessarily control. Just like there are other ailments that you encounter that, catch you by surprise, this is one of them. And when you can find treatment for, let's say, for instance, chemotherapy for somebody who's struggling with cancer, there is fertility treatment available for those who are struggling with infertility. And I think as a community, and within our churches, we have to, have the conversation more openly around this particular topic so that individuals who are struggling with it don't feel that they need to suffer with it in silence like I did.
Okay.
And so here I am sharing, my personal struggle of infertility that happened in my late 20s and early 30s during the prime of what I thought would be the time of my life to, grow a family. And I come to realize that this is also the challenge of many others, but they are suffering with it in silence. So here I am again, just sharing, what I've experienced to build hope for others. Build hope, because despite having all of those challenges, I can share with you today that I have not one, not two, but 3 rambunctious kids
Great.
that keep me busy. And I'm not complaining in any which way, but I just want to build hope for those that are going through the struggle, that cannot make sense of what they're experiencing, that God has not forgotten them. He has not. And there may be folks who may say, well, it may be easier for you to talk about it now that, you have your kids. But even after having my children, my daughter is 9 years old. She's going to be 10 later this year. And my twin boys are 7. So even after having them, this is now almost 10 years later. I am just now coming to a place of being comfortable with being uncomfortable in having this conversation. And it's because of some of the shame and stigma that's been placed around this topic, even after having had my kids.
Okay, were there individuals that made you feel less than or whatever as you went through the process? I know you said that you were you didn't talk about it because you really, didn't want to, but I'm sure there were someone around you that was aware of what was going on. Did anyone make you feel, less than because of your situation?
Yeah. So 2 things. One, I didn't hear the conversation being had. And so I felt less than because there wasn't a space for me to have that dialogue with anybody about what I was experiencing. So I felt like it was just me. So in having that type of feeling, because there was nothing or no one else around to see this with, I felt, I guess the term like you use is less than. So there's no way for me to reveal it. Then there were those who would make, the comments. Girl, when you gonna have those kids? Don't be waiting too long now. Those, you're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And I even had somebody again, the comments, and I know they're not necessarily meant to be intentionally hurtful, but somebody asked me, all right, is your husband shooting blanks? So while it may be a casual thing, these are the type of comments when a couple is struggling with infertility that are really insensitive and inappropriate. And so my role, I feel, in this season is to help increase the awareness and educating others that we need to be more aware that this is in our circles. In fact, according to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, 1 in 8 women experience infertility.
Wow.
And then as it relates to miscarriages, 1 in 4. So if you take a look at your circle, right? Let's take a look at our circle. You have your mom. Let's just take your mom out of the equation, because let's say you're here because of your mom, right? But you don't know what her story is unless you probably have that conversation. And there may be some individuals. In fact, I just learned last week while I was visiting in the Bahamas, there was an individual who did not know that their mom had several losses before they conceived them. And they're only aware of that because they just recently experienced a loss in their marriage.
Okay.
So yeah, let's include your mom in that. So there's your mom, there's your sister, there's your cousin, there's your auntie, all right? There's your co-worker, there's your church friend, all right? There's your friend you play tennis with, and then there's your neighbor. That's at least 8 individuals, and of those 8 individuals, at least one of them is struggling with infertility.
Okay.
And then when it comes to miscarriages, where I had my share as well, 1 in 4. So right now, there could be somebody that's listening to this who is trying to make sense of what's happening within their bodies, trying to understand why is their body rejecting something that is supposed to be so beautiful, right?
Right.
This is of life. And it's happening more frequently than we know.
Okay, so we have some comments out here, and thank you all for tuning in. We have Kathy, Gia, and Kathy is thanking you for sharing with us today. And then Gia says, you know, people just don't know what to say. Instead of not saying anything, you know, they just blurt out different things. And then Gia also says, sorry what you had to go through. But I know you mentioned about, you know, keeping that hope. So how were you able to manage keeping that hope? I know you say you are a woman of faith.
Yes.
And so I know that had to have a lot to do with it. But
So my faith was tested very severely. I mean, I like I was mentioning earlier, I reached a point where I had a conversation with God and telling him, God, you forgot me. I truly felt like his forgotten child because everyone around me was having kids. All of my best friends, all of the ones at church, everybody was having a baby. And I was the girl who, when the altar call was made for special prayer, every time it was made at church, you know, do you have a silent prayer request? Everybody has a silent prayer request, but that was just mine. And I would go up for special prayer, but nobody would know what it was for. But it was, Lord, can you remember me, please? And he always had this voice that was in the back of my head, even while I was going through fertility treatment, that said, behold, I am always with you. I speak to that several times where I had heard that still voice in the back of my head. Behold, I am always with you. And that promise I've seen manifested throughout my life. There was actually an encounter I had that I speak to in great detail in my book, where God let me know that I was not forgotten. Right in the midst of one of my darkest moments, he revealed himself in a way that, I mean, there's just no way that it could have been orchestrated other than by God, the sequence of events for him to, it was almost as if he was right here sitting next to me, you know, telling me that I was not forgotten. And so for individuals that may be going through that type of experience, and I've heard, you know, someone else who was referring to my book, they were like, Tazz, I mean, when you said, you know, God has not forgotten you, or you felt like you were forgotten, I'm here struggling with trying to figure out, when is God going to bring me a husband? I resonate with that story. So while in my book, I speak through the secrets of faith in fertility, there are individuals who are being able to find how they are able to apply their faith in whatever it is, in, you know, being a widow, in being an individual who's seeking a husband, in being, you know, someone who's struggling with a health circumstance. They're finding that within my book, which is just that part blows my mind, how something that I was struggling again with in shame, God is finding a way to use it to bring hope to others in fertility, in whatever else it is, fill in the blank, that they may be experiencing.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Tazz, let me ask you a question. I know you're talking about bringing in your mama in now. I know my mother was 9 years after she got married before she had any kids. And she always told us she had went to this doctor, and this doctor told her she never have any. So during that time, she was doing a lot of traveling. But she went to some doctor in New York. I don't remember the whole story. But anyway, I ended up with 2 boys and 2 girls. So she had 4. And she took them all back to this doctor that said you wasn't going to have any kids. And she showed them, she showed them the 3 of us then, and then 4. But let me ask you a question, Dr. Tazz. What about the husband feeling?
My husband.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you asked. And, he's in my book, some experiences that he, endured during the process. Let me put on the record first and foremost that I am married to the absolute best man there is that God could have created for me. He handcrafted my husband, Dwayne, just for me. I believe that with every fiber of my being. So my husband always remained hopeful. In fact, moments when I was in pain emotionally, he would tell me, babes, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And at times I just could not understand that, because it was, here it is, we're dealing with this loss. Here it is, we've been trying for so long. And he kept saying, babe, it's going to happen. So I think it's very important for, partners that are together to really encourage each other, especially during these dark moments, because it's both of you are in it together. For him, he also shared with me recently after my book came out, something I didn't know. And it was another layer of healing for both of us. He started to recount one of the experiences I share in my story about one of our losses, where he actually was. The loss actually happened in Ohio. We live in Florida. And he was taking pharmacy tech courses at the time. And he remembered, he was sharing with me that he was in his class when he got the call. And however, the logistics worked out for them to get him to my side in Ohio. I never really asked him about that moment. I just knew that we were both, dealing with the grief of what we were experiencing in Ohio. But to hear him speak about that now and that moment, it really took me to realizing how deep of a pain that was also for him, that he was actually recounting that moment. And I felt sorrowful in a way, because I was like, I never asked, where was he, or who called him, or, what was happening. I don't know what to say. I took it for granted, because I was, in the hospital, and we're dealing with trying to save the babies. And it was just so much things that were happening. But to hear him say that now, it really, it was another moment for us as a couple to reconnect on an area that we both had grieved on.
That's great. Okay.
That's good. Because I'm, sure that, we hear stories about, as couples struggle with certain things, that's when you can find out the strength of that marriage, where it may be weak. So like you said, that he was made for you. So I'm glad that y'all were able to bond, and you probably even got closer during your walk.
Absolutely. We sure did. There was a period while we were struggling with infertility where we just took a break. We just took a break. It was like, okay, we were coming up on our 10th wedding anniversary. And we always said when we hit those type of milestones, we want to make it pretty special. And so it was like, but then it's like, but if we stop trying now, what if we missed, a window? And he was like, no, we are gonna take the trip. We're gonna put this on hold. And I was like, okay. And I'm so glad that we did. I'm so glad we did. We had an amazing 10th wedding anniversary cruise that we took in the Mediterranean, and we just took a break. And sometimes, for us, when we're, pushing and we're desiring of something so much, God has his time laid out so perfectly.
Yes.
For us. And sometimes when we're in the midst of something, he wants to refresh our souls and our spirits to not just reconnect within ourselves, but also to reconnect with him. And I believe that he used that in that season for us. Because I'll tell you, it was shortly thereafterwards where we had entered the point where we were able to conceive again. And we received our first daughter, who we call our rainbow baby, because she was the rainbow after the storm that we experienced.
Oh, I love it. Yes, God's timing is perfect. And like you say, you were able to get away, get relaxed, get reconnected, get back to, hey, let's not put all our time and energy into, trying, but, let's reflect back with, our maker and understand that he has a perfect will for us in his timing. And look what he did.
He did something beyond amazing. I mean, I can't wait for individuals to really delve into the pages of my book. I was a bit nervous at first, of course, right? You're writing your personal story and sharing a part of you with others. But now, as I'm receiving feedback from others and, they're able to experience some of the hope that actually lives. And, I only scratched the surface of some of the things that we actually encountered. There were some individuals who said, I cried for a portion of your book, and I get it. But then the victory, the triumph through the trials, that's what we want individuals to be able to walk away with when they read the story. To know that despite whatever that trial or that circumstance that you're facing, because guess what? Every one of us are going to have some form of struggle in our lifetime. And if you haven't encountered one already, you're about to walk into one, or you just came out of one. And when we realize that in the midst of our trial, if we are able to still hold on to the hope of Christ, the hope that can truly only come from him, then we are able to experience a joy that truly passes all understanding. One of the things that I experienced, and it's one of the secrets I speak to in my book, was when I reached a point in the midst of my pain when I was able to say, God, if you never blessed me any more than you've blessed me already, I've been blessed more than enough.
Amazing.
I had that on repeat at a certain point in my life, and it was like a joy. Despite not having children, there was a joy that was so deep within my soul. I just want to share with everybody. And so for individuals that are experiencing various trials and challenges, when you can get to building your hope and experiencing that joy, the joy that it brings, it truly can help you to get through whatever it is that you're experiencing.
Yes, most definitely. Yes. And I want to acknowledge some more of our fans out here. We have Henrietta Wright has tuned in with us. Good evening to you. And I saw another Miller. Lorraine Miller. Thank you both for tuning in. And we have
Lorraine Miller, that's my mom.
Oh, hi, Awesome.
And actually, she is celebrating. Let me put on the record. My parents are celebrating their 46th wedding anniversary today. So happy
Wow.
anniversary to my
Congratulations.
mom and dad, Lorene and Clyde Miller, there in Nassau, Bahamas. Happy anniversary. I love you guys.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations. That's a milestone, definitely. Let's see. And there's some comments. The struggles are real, true joy. And Gia says, I'm experiencing God's timing right now. And so appreciative for patience. Only he gets the glory when you know it's through him. That is so true. Thank you. Yes.
Because I have folks to realize, folks, well, maybe, because of, you have a fertility treatment, that's why your kids are here. Nope. That is only an aid. It is truly the power of the living God that my children are here, because even with fertility treatment before, it still didn't happen right away, So yeah. I can share with you that when we have that hope that's in Christ and be able to experience the joy that he brings, it's through prayer and medicine that they work together, and God is able to show something where only he at the end of the day can receive the glory, honor, and praise. One of the other secrets, I'll share this one that I speak to in my book. It's about journaling. So I have an adopted mom who used to live in Maryland at the time. She had shared how the value of writing things down was so important. And in my book, I share parts of my journal where I had written some things down. And I truly saw God bring some of those things to pass that proved to me, that provided the evidence that this was not just because, it's because of something he had revealed before that he is now bringing to pass. And so again, he alone gets the glory, honor, and the praise.
Right.
Dr. Tazz, do you have any special tips for wives dealing with infertility?
Yes.
And the second part, what advice would you give them?
One of the things that I found value in, even though I was not able to share with these individuals how painful and how deep my struggle was, many individuals are aware of my first pregnancy loss, right? Because I was visibly pregnant. Many individuals sympathize with my loss. And so there was a community of believers who were praying for me. They were truly praying that whenever I would become pregnant again, that I would be able to have my kids and that they would be, that I would have a successful pregnancy. And so I do believe that individuals that may be struggling with infertility or maybe pregnancy loss of some form should find themselves amongst a community of believers who believe in the power of prayer. I mean, if there's anything that you can do, and when you can't pray for yourself, is to have others standing in the gap for you. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to leave with individuals that are struggling. And some people may take it like, prayer is so cliche. Yeah, I'm living witness that there's power in that. And the power is so great that those individuals who were praying for me did not even know that I was struggling with infertility, So they were praying for me to keep a pregnancy, not even realizing that they needed to pray for me to actually have a pregnancy. But I do believe that the power of their prayer transcended to the need that was necessary for me. Another thing that I want to recommend for individuals that are struggling with infertility, find yourself a good doctor. Find yourself a good doctor. Don't take it for granted that, this is something that's going to resolve itself. Again, medical doctors are there who have been trained and have gotten wisdom in how to provide support for this type of ailment. Just like there is an orthopedic doctor that's been trained and have the skill set as to how to, help you heal from a broken leg, you have fertility doctors who are able to do the same for you. if this is an issue that you're struggling with. So I like to leave those two with individuals. And I do have more that I share in my book that, individuals can reference as well.
Okay, thank you. Those were great. So hope that you got those, but have a community of believers praying for you, excuse me, and then find a good doctor. Every doctor is, even though they fall under a certain area of expertise, not all of them have empathy, and not all of them are doing their best with their skills that they have. So you do your research and find a good physician. We also want to find out, Dr. Tazz, what can you say to the men that may be dealing in a relationship that he and his wife are dealing with infertility, whether it's on their end or otherwise, but any advice for our men? Excuse me.
Great. So one thing I would like for men to realize, this is not something to be embarrassed about. Again, this is just another medical condition. And there are in some cultures where it's viewed like, okay, well, like you said, less than, right? No, you're not. It's just another medical condition. I think when we start to repeat that, this is just another medical condition. This is just another medical condition. And realizing that there is treatment available, whether it's on the male or the female side, that it's okay. And here's the thing. And I know most men don't like to go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. No need to prolong wondering whether it's me or whether it's her. Like, just go to the doctor. Get the test done. Find out, get the treatment, because again, there's treatment plan available for everything, and find ways to move forward beyond what you're experiencing right now. There's no need to, again, suffer in silence with this, because the statistics are there to prove that if you think it's just you got it wrong. There are probably more individuals sitting around you in your office, at the coffee shop, on the bus, that are experiencing the exact same struggle. Let me bring this full circle to you. Like I mentioned, I just completed my book tour in Nassau. And it was more than I could have imagined. I can tell that there is an appetite for individuals wanting to learn more about this particular issue and how to get around it, because it's becoming more prevalent in the community. But here's how close to home this got to me. It was after my book signing. I was with several friends, and several of them I'm really, really close with. We were enjoying ourselves when one of them proceeded to share that she actually had fertility treatment to conceive her kids. The rest of us who were in the room were like stunned, because we had no clue. She and I had a side conversation later on, and it was like we could have been there to help each other.
Right.
Through the struggle, but through the shame, through the fear, through the embarrassment, we both suffered in silence.
All right.
We don't want that for another woman. We don't want that for another couple.
That's right.
Allow yourselves to find yourselves to just share with people. Ask somebody to pray for you that believes in the power of prayer. Not just anybody, right? But that believes in the power of prayer, so that you're not suffering in silence. And it's when we are having these open conversations, truly we can realize, oh, you know what? Let me call Tazz and see if she can refer me to, and I'm open to that. Or let me call, Pastor so-and-so. Let's have the conversation. Let's have our ministers also speak about it from the pulpit. I called my pastor out a few weeks ago after my book came out, because here it is, we're talking about hope and, breaking through our finances, and hope and breaking through some of our, these other health challenges, but nobody's using the word infertility.
All right.
Which we have sitting in our pews. You know, let's use the word more. And I get it. I was one of those individuals, even though I was struggling in it, even though I wrote a book about it. Let's start to speak it and find a way to move past it so that others can get the help that they need and not suffer in silence.
Right. And we have so many taboo conversations, issues that we don't have those conversations. And I just feel like, you mentioned, you were friends with someone and you could have been talking among yourselves. So, that's another reason why we should be so sensitive and discerning about the people that we keep in our circles, because there can be toxic people and negative people and people that talk out of turn. But if we are praying and having that discernment of having our genuine people that have our hearts and minds and our best interests in mind, and we should be able to feel free to talk with those people, then we can, partner up. I can have that conversation. We can have a little group that we meet and we talk. And like you were saying, the information for the men, don't be embarrassed. The person sitting right next to you may have the same issue and you can talk about it. You don't have to feel, a lot of times when we keep stuff inside, it causes anxiety and things like that. So it's good to be able to have someone to talk to. So absolutely. I know your book is going to be bless a lot of people. And we're going to get on to a little bit more about that. But we want to give our listeners a little promo right now.
Yes, this is some upcoming things that unique couples are doing. Don't miss out on the Unique Couples Marriage Marathon this Monday, August 1st, from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 3 p.m. for marriage overcomers. Thriving in this season with 5 dynamic couples sharing and overcoming communication, intimacy, conflict, togetherness, trust, difference, and financial issues in marriage. Be sure to register for this training today.
Now, y'all know if Linda and Vito has anything to do with this is going to be amazing. So you don't want to wait. So it's not going to be tomorrow, but it's going to be next Monday. So you got time, but don't procrastinate. Go ahead and get out there and register so you can be a part of this amazing training. Okay. Now getting back to you, Dr. Tazz. Now you've been talking about this book. You have to tell us the name of this book, show us this book, and tell us more about it.
Yes, the book that I was never supposed to write. A story that I was never supposed to share. This is supposed to be my secret between me and God. But God has a way of, I say, tugging on our hearts, tugging on our minds when he wants us to move in a particular way. And that's what he did with me. And even after I wrote the book, mind you, even after I wrote the book and the manuscript was complete, I was like, no, I ain't doing that. I can't do that. I can't, as we say back in the Bahamas, I can't go putting all my business out in the street. Like, no, I can't do that. After I had even completed the book. And God was like, this story, you think it's just about you, but it's not. It's not. You lived it, but it's my message of hope to others. And so the title of my book is The Secrets of Faith INFertility, an Untold Journey of Faith, Fertility, and Favor. It is available on Amazon, and it can also be found in Nassau right now at the Logos Bookstore in Harbor Bay, at the Oasis Bookstore at the Miles C. Monroe Diplomat Center, and the Black Food Shop, their bookstore and culture shop on East and Robinson Road in Nassau, Bahamas. So those are physical bookstores where it's located. Actually, last week, we sold out at the Black Food Bookstore and Culture Shop during my book signing event.
Oh.
And more books are on the way. They will be in Nassau this week. So you'll be able to go there. But I did leave a free gift for those who go there to the store if they come in, and those who go and purchase. I left a free gift there for those who go in there and were not able to get a physical copy until the physical copy does arrive. But yeah, it's there, and it's on Amazon. You can definitely go ahead and get on Amazon and purchase a copy. On Amazon, it's available in both the physical copy and also as an ebook. So you can get it as either or on Amazon.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and also, can you tell everyone how to connect with you? If
Yes.
they want to get in contact or anything?
Yes. So you can connect with me through my website, drtazz.com, and it's doctor spelled all the way out. That's DoctorTazz.com. That's Dr. Tazz spelled all the way out.com. And also there's a link on that page if that's easier to find than on Amazon. You can go to my website, and the very first thing you'll see there is the link that takes you directly to Amazon to order a copy of the book. And you can also reach me through Instagram at Dr. Tazz. Again, doctor spelled all the way out, DoctorTazz. I am at Dr. Tazz on Instagram. And then on Facebook, my husband and I, we have a joint Facebook account. We've been tied at the hip ever since we opened the Facebook account. So it's Dwayne and Latazia Stuart. Dwayne and Latazia Stuart. That's us on Facebook. But definitely, if you go to my website or Instagram, you will reach me directly. Though when it comes now to the way things have been going with my book, my husband's like, you just go ahead, run with it, or he'll keep me up to breast. And, somebody's trying to reach you on Facebook. If I haven't looked at it lately, I've seen a post from so and so. You need to get on there. So yeah, he's good at keeping me up to my toes on what's happening on Facebook too.
That's awesome. Great. So glad for you.
Now, Deborah, I do have something for your listeners today.
Okay.
I do have a free gift because I do recognize that Unique Couples is truly an amazing organization. I've been following you guys for years. And I never thought I would be one to be on a show talking about my biggest secret. Never thought it. Never ever dreamt it. So so if you go to my website right now, on my website, there's a tab that's there for just a limited time that says the number for you. If you click on that tab, there's a free gift there available for all of your listeners to be able to go ahead and grab a copy of one of my journals for free today. So just want to leave that for each one of them today.
That's amazing. That's so wonderful of you. I know Linda and Vito appreciate that so much. Mm-hmm. And for all of those of you who weren't listening real good, go to her website, click on the tab, the number 4, you, and she has
that's for you. It's for you. It's for you. That's why it's just as simple as could be, for you, because it's for each of you taking the time today to listen in to this amazing program.
Thank you so much. It has been amazing. We appreciate it. And I know that you have helped so many. So for all of you out there who are listening, or you listen to this later, please share. The content will always be out there. So share the content so that they can go out and listen for themselves and contact Dr. Tazz because it's nothing like having someone that's been there and they can provide you with information and give you the empathy as well. So greatly appreciate that. But thank you so much for sharing, and thank you very much for taking the time to write the book because it's going to bless so many.
I do believe so. I mean, again, right now, I feel like God has me in a season of my life walking in the purpose that he crafted for me right now, which is to help other women and couples that are going through. So I'm out here, increasing the awareness. I'm out here speaking with others. In fact, I return, for those of you who are in the Bahamas, I return on September 3rd. I will be at Bahama Grand Resort speaking at an annual prayer breakfast there. There'll be more information about that coming out on my website. But I had an invitation extended to speak at Bahamas in September. So I look forward to returning to the Bahamas to continue increasing the awareness, and helping women and couples recognize you are not forgotten by God. You are not forgotten by God. I know how that feels. And we are going to just, get rid of that, because those type of feelings, they're not from God. He's not about having us feeling like we're forgotten and we are, shameful. Those are not feelings from him. And so, yeah, I'm out here, increasing the awareness, sharing my story through my book. And I'm hopeful that there are many that are going to be encouraged by the message that he's brought through me.
Well, thank you so much. And we have some wonderful, wonderful news. We want everyone to join in and join in with the Unique Couples family to wish Vito and Linda a happy 19th wedding anniversary on July 27th. That is such a blessing. 19 years. Congratulations. Such a beautiful couple. They act like they're just dating. So we love it. But congratulations. That's a blessing. 19 years. And that's July 27th.
And we also like to give a special shout out that goes to Unique Couple sponsors and supporters. Hair to Please, the Nail Creation by Anna, Party of Serenity, Styles Me Pretty, Build Your Best Life with Deborah D. Smith, and Total Grace Solution with Thaddeus and Amanda Randolph.
Yes. And since you mentioned that person, Deborah D. Smith, I just want to say I'm the coach of Build Your Best Life with Deborah D. Smith. And my niche is high school age and young adult males, to helping them overcome obstacles and build their best lives. And I wrote a book, and that book is also available on Amazon.com, the ebook. And I have, you can get your autographed copy if you go on my website, which is www.buildyourbestlife.org, www.buildyourbestlife.org. And I do want to thank, we want to thank Linda and Vito for having us on today. And it's such a pleasure meeting you, Dr. Tazz, and to hear your wonderful testimony and story. The best to you and everything that you are doing and walking in your purpose.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And Dr. Tazz, I like to say, if it's sometimes, like you say, taboo, you don't want to talk about it. But I do know what I can do. If anybody asks me about it, I say, I know a young lady that wrote a book, and we get Dr. Tazz, and that book will help you. So that's great. That's great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Yes, please spread the word. I'm here for it. Like I said, I feel like this is a purpose assignment that God has me on right now. And no other woman or couple, that's my desire. No other woman or couple is going to suffer with this in silence. We're going to help them all get through this.
Right.
Amazing. Well, thank you all again for tuning in. Don't forget August 1st, beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Marriage Overcomers. So don't forget to register for that. And as always, please follow Linda and Vito on all phases of social media so you can find everything that they are offering. They have something for every couple. So be blessed. Enjoy your week, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
At Wrights Enterprise, our slogan is Dreams on Wheels. Let us customize a trailer to accommodate your business's needs. From clothing and apparel, shoes and accessories, to hair and nails, we are the perfect choice for your mobile business. Contact 646-8464 for more info and follow us on IG at Wrights_Enterprise 242.